Transferring 101 community college to a four-year. I'm going to start off doing a little comparison on community colleges and 4 years. So I have a little side-by-side here. So I'll go ahead and get started talking about community colleges. So compared to four-year universities, community colleges are usually more flexible. So you have more of an opportunity to work. They also provide a lot more of online classes compared to 4 years. Not to say that 4 years don't have online classes, because they do, but they are very limited. When I was out of 4 year, I don't remember taking any any online class. And most community colleges also offer night classes, because they take into consideration that there's a lot of people that go to community college who are working in the daytime, or who have to take care of kids maybe in the day, and so their only option is to take night classes. And usually at 4 years, I think the latest class I ever took was from 6 to 8, and that's like the latest class that they have. But community colleges offer a lot of classes from like 6 to 10 p.m. So if you are planning on maybe working full-time, then community college might be a good option for you, because they do have night class options. So along with that, community colleges are more diverse, not just like students' ethnicity or race or gender. They are diverse in the type of student. Community colleges really reflect the population that is in the area. So community colleges will often look like the way that your high schools look. So there's going to be a lot of diversity there, as opposed to going to a 4 year. The majority of students who go to 4 years are white and Asian students. Those are the majority at most 4 year universities. Community colleges are also smaller. So if you're someone who really likes a smaller campus size, a smaller classroom size, then community college might be for you. Because think of it as, I try not to have students think of community college as high school, because some of y'all like really haven't enjoyed your high school career and you want something different. But just think of the same classroom size. So the same classroom size that you have in high school is most likely going to be the size that you have at a community college. As opposed to a 4 year university. In general, they are larger, but obviously there are some schools that are a lot smaller, some schools that are a lot larger. So community college can be 30 people in a class, and a 4 year can be 300 people in a class. Community college is also good for students who want an academic boost. So maybe you haven't been doing well in high school and you can do better. I always tell students that your grades are not a reflection of who you are. So just because you haven't been getting straight A's and B's in all your classes doesn't mean that you're smart. There are a lot of different factors that affect your academics. So if you are not happy with the grades that you've gotten in high school, then you might want a fresh start. And that's what community colleges really are for students, is a fresh start, because there isn't a GPA requirement to go to community college. All you need to do is have a GED or have your high school diploma, and that's pretty much it. Be 18 years or older as well. No, I don't think you need to be 18, because you can be 17 and be enrolled, but it's after high school or equivalent. And even if you did do well in high school, but you would like to receive extra academic guidance or support, then community college is also good for you. So if you're not ready to take that big leap into going straight to a 4 year university, especially if you're someone that wants to go to a 4 year university that isn't close to home, so you wouldn't be living at home. If you're not ready to take that huge step of being in a completely different city, a completely different environment, a completely different type of school, then a community college is a really good stepping stone to getting to a 4 year university. The degrees. So the degrees that are offered at a community college are associate's degrees and certificates, and they usually take about 2 years. So that's always the goal, is for you to receive your associates within 2 years. But that will depend on how many classes you take per semester. And generally, community college is the more affordable option. It's approximately 1,636 a year, and you will more than likely be living at home, so you will be saving on room and board. However, there are more and more community colleges that are offering on-campus housing. So if you want on-campus housing, but you also want to go to community college, then look up specific community colleges who offer that. And then to talk a little bit about 4 years. So 4 years are a little bit less flexible. You are able to work when you're at a 4 year. I worked multiple jobs when I was in college. However, they do encourage you to be a full-time student at all times. So every quarter, every semester, you are very, very, very highly encouraged and pushed to be a full-time student, or else you won't receive the same amount of financial aid that you think you're gonna get. You're not gonna get the full amount. And a difference between community college and 4 year is the college experience, which people call it, which is, you know, living in the dorms, being away from home. That's the basic college experience that people think about. And not to say that if you go to community college, you won't experience that, because ultimately, if you decide to transfer to a 4 year, you will be able to experience that. However, you won't get the college experience right away. It's going to be delayed by a couple years, but you can still experience it if you'd like. Even as a transfer student, you will be offered on-campus housing, so you are still able to experience living in the dorms and all that fun stuff. Again, 4 year universities are in general more larger than community colleges. Like I mentioned, community colleges don't have admission requirements. The only requirement is to have your high school diploma or GED. But 4 year universities have different admissions requirements. So if you're looking at a CSU, they require you to take the SAT, ACT, and to have at least a 2.0 GPA. And if you're looking into going to a UC, you need this ACT, SAT, at least a 3.0, and PIQs. And privates, I don't mention privates too much, only because every private is different. So every private has their own admissions requirements. The degrees that are offered at 4 years are bachelor's degrees, which usually take between 4 to 5 years, depending on your major, depending how many majors you have, how many minors you have, and they're generally less affordable. So the 1,636 per year is only for tuition. And for CSU's, tuition only is almost 7,000, and UC's for tuition only is about 14,000. But that is not including any financial aid. So whenever students are like, oh, like it's way too expensive, like I don't think I can afford it, I'm just gonna go to community college. Well, you really don't know how much it's going to cost you until, let's see, when do they start getting? So you don't get your financial aid packages until about April. So you start getting them as early as January. Between January and April is when you actually know how much you're going to pay. So I always suggest for students to apply to 4 year universities, and during this time this year, then they can make their decision if they are going to go with a 4 year, or if they don't feel like they're getting enough financial aid, then go ahead and do community college. But the more options you have, the better. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, my only option is to go to community college. You know, if you have the minimum GPA to be able to apply to a 4 year, then do it. Especially if you qualify for free and reduced lunch, then you get to apply for those schools for 4 CSUs and 4 UCs for free. So why not take advantage of that? So next I have a couple screenshots that I took of different community colleges and the degrees and certificate programs that they offer. So in the top here in the green, that is from Aloni. So I only screenshotted a couple, so most of them are like the A's. So they have accounting, administrative assistant, African American studies, sign language, and these different columns stand for different degrees or certificates. So the ADT is associate degree for transfer, and then just the Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Certificate of Achievement, and Certificate of Accomplishment. And then here in the bottom right corner is for Chabot. Here are a couple. And then on the left is merit. So here you can see a lot more of the degrees that they offer. So that's just something for you to look at. It's really cool because they offer some certificate programs that I honestly would be interested in doing. So I mentioned the differences. So what do they have in common? So one of the biggest things that they have in common is the level of education. So in the past, there's always been a negative connotation when it comes to community colleges. People think that they should go to a community college because it's a lot easier, because it's not as much work, it's not on the same level as four-year universities, but that's not the case at all. So college is college. You know, the level of education is the same. Oftentimes the professors are the same as well. I know when I was at Davis, a lot of my professors would mention that they have to teach a class on a certain day at the local community college. And I was like, well, that's cool. Like they're at two different institutions, but it's the same professor. So they have the same level, they have the same mastery in the specific subject that they're teaching. So don't go into community college thinking that it's going to be super easy. That's not the case, but that's good because you are already going to be able to experience the level of difficulty that college is. So it'll prepare you to go to the next step, which is a 4-year. That's why I say that it's a stepping stone, because if you stay local, if you go to a local community college, you'll still be living at home, most likely. You can move out as well, but you are still gonna have the familiarity of being at home. However, the one stepping stone is gonna be the level of education. And then after that, then you can kick it up a notch and be in a different environment. They also have the same support services. So anything that you find at a 4-year, you're gonna find it at a community college. They have academic advisors, they have tutoring, they have different support groups and different programs that you can join or have access to. Both places, you're gonna be able to meet new people. So I know a lot of people don't want to go to community college because they think it's an extension of high school. They're like, everyone from high school is gonna come. I want to meet new people. It's gonna be the same as high school. I already know all these people. Like, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, and they're going to this community college, so I don't want to go. But you're regardless, you're gonna meet new people. So you don't know everyone in Oakland, you don't know everyone in Hayward. There's a whole bunch of more people than the people at your high school. So regardless, yes, you will probably see people that you know, but you are gonna meet a lot more new people. And that's the same thing as if you were to go to a 4-year, you're gonna meet a lot of new people as well. And even though there is a lot more people, that doesn't mean you're going to have an interaction with everyone. And the opportunities are very similar. So if you are someone who gets along with a professor, you know, you can talk to them and ask them maybe if they have an internship that they would recommend for you. And that's something that you do at both community colleges and at 4 years. So that goes along with networking, which is something super important that you should do regardless of what school you end up going to. Now I'm going to start mentioning these really important resources for when you are in community college. So once you're in community college and you know 100% you want to go to a UC, this is a really cool tool that you can use that helps you to track your progress. So it's called the Transfer Admission Planner, or UC Tab. So what it does, as you go along with taking classes, you're going to input every class that you've taken, and it'll tell you your progress pretty much. So it'll tell you, oh, you need one more class of English, you need one more class of math, you need maybe 6 more units. So it tracks your progress along the way so that you know how much more you need. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the Transfer Admission Guarantee, also known as TAG, and this is also specific to UCs. However, not all UCs participate, but as you can see here, there is only 6 that participate in TAG, and those are Davis, Irvine, Merced, Riverside, Santa Barbara, and Santa Cruz. So what TAG is kind of like a contract between you and the school, saying that you will complete a certain amount of units and maintain a certain GPA in order to be admitted. And as long as you fulfill that contract, as long as you take the specific number of units and you maintain a certain GPA, you are guaranteed admissions to that school. And the thing with tag though is you do have to be really certain that that is the school that you want to go to, because you're only allowed to apply to one tag school. So you can't choose like 2 or 3 and then later on decide like, oh, I'm going to end up going to Merced. Like, no, you have to be all in with one school. But the cool thing about tag is you are able to receive early review, not guaranteed, but you may receive early review and early admission to that specific school that you decide to go with. And you also have priority. And then in order to pursue tag, you have to start using the UC tab, which I just mentioned, the transfer admission planner, to complete all of your requirements to make sure you have that. There's an application that you fill out. And when you are planning to transfer, one of the most important things is to keep track of deadlines. So if you do not get these applications in by the certain deadline, then you're gonna have to wait if you want to apply through tag. So these are some deadlines. You have to submit it by between September 1st and 30 for fall. And then if you don't, then you're gonna have to wait until May. And obviously complete all the courses that you should have a certain GPA. And then here is more information. So this shows specific information on specific schools that use tag. So like if you're looking at Davis, then it tells you, I think this one's really cool. So if there's a specific major that you want to do and you know you want to go through tag, this is a really important resource to look at, because it tells you which majors are excluded from tag. So there are some majors that you that cannot participate in tag. So for Davis, for example, if you want to do landscape architecture, that's excluded. Some of you might not want to go to a UC at all and you feel like CSUs are more for you. So here is something called the associate degree for transfer. So you might have seen in one of these screenshots that I showed y'all, the ADT, so associate degree for transfer. That is different from a regular associate's degree, because if you get an associate degree for transfer, it guarantees admission to CSU. And not every single major is an ADT. So you have to go through the community college that you're going to go to. You have to look through the majors. And if you 100% want to go to a CSU and you want to receive an associate degree for transfer, then there are specific ones. But like I mentioned, you don't have to get an associate degree for transfer to a school. And like I said, it pretty much guarantees your admission to a CSU. However, it doesn't guarantee your admission to a specific CSU. Your best friend when you are in community college, besides your academic advisor, is something called Assist. Maybe some of you have heard of Assist if you've maybe taken a concurrent enrollment course, which is a course at the community college that you're able to take while you're in high school. That is free. So if you haven't done that, look into concurrent enrollment, because it's free and you get college credit. So what Assist does, this is what the website looks like. It pretty much allows you to choose a class at the community college and see if it will transfer to the school of your choice. So for example, for this year institution, let's say we're at ARC, which is in the Sacramento area. And you want to go to CSU Chico. You can view the agreements and it'll show you the courses that are transferable. So this is really, really, really important when you're taking any course at the community college, because you don't want to take a course that you aren't sure is going to count and be transferred over. And you can also use this even if you're not like already a senior going into community college. If you're a high school student, then let's say you're taking a course at, let's say you're an HUSC student going to Chabot, Or you could be from anywhere else and just take an online course from Chabot, and you're planning on going to East Bay. It's not available. And let's say you want to go to CSU LA. And for your concurrent enrollment, you're planning on taking criminal justice. So this way you know if the concurrent enrollment course that you're taking, if it will be transferred eventually to the 4-year that you will be going, even after you transfer. So once you've made your decision, so you already know 100% you are going to go to a community college, you first start off by filling out your FAFSA or your California Dream Act application to get free money. So that opens up in October 1st. And then you start applying for scholarships. It doesn't necessarily have to be your senior year. You can even start applying for scholarships now. However, most scholarships are for seniors in high school. And then you apply to the community college of your choice. It doesn't have to be the community college closest to you. It can be one 30 minutes away. It can be one an hour away. It can be one in a different state if you want to. And the cool thing about community college is that you can start as early as the summer. So if you are a student who currently registered for community college, you had the option of choosing fall 2020 or summer 2020. So you could have started this summer if you wanted to, but I'm sure most students would wait until fall because, you know, you just finished 4 years of high school, you want a little break. But once you apply, then they send you an email about when to complete an orientation, and usually it's an in-person orientation, but if you're a current senior, then everything is online. So make sure to do an orientation as soon as possible. And then after that, you will take placement exams. So I know a lot of students, when we are doing your ILP and you're like, I'm for sure gonna go to community college, so I don't wanna take a 4th year of math. And I will always tell you, always tell you to take it regardless. I don't care if you're going to community college, if you're going out of state, if you're going to a UC, to a CSU, take the 4 years of math. And I know some of you probably hate math, but regardless of what school you go to, you will have to take a placement exam, and that's including community college. So in community college, you're going to have to take a placement exam so that they know what math class to place you in. So if you take a whole year off of math and then all of a sudden you have to take a placement test in math, you are very likely to not score as well as you would have if you would have taken that 4th year of math. So I don't care if you're going to community college, you should be taking a senior year math class. So once you take those placement exams, then you have an idea of what classes to enroll in. But before you actually register in your classes, you should make an appointment with an academic advisor or counselor, because they will start to create a 2-year plan for you and kind of lay out what the next 2 years are going to look like for you. Usually during that same time, you will register for classes with your academic advisor or counselor, or they might just tell you, okay, do these 3 classes, and then you register for them on your own, and then you just wait for school to start and you start taking your classes. So every community college has different resources.
So these are Chabot because I'm in Hayward, so the closest community college to me is Chabot, and this was sent to me from Chabot. But a lot of schools have similar resource programs. So I'm gonna just scroll down for y'all to see different programs that community colleges offer. So there's Puente, Disabled Students Program and Services, PACE, CalWorks, Guardian Scholars Program, EOPS, which everyone should do. If y'all don't know what EOPS is, it says right here, it's a state-funded program, and it helps students who come from historically economic disadvantaged backgrounds. So similar to what we do here. And these are some services that are provided through EOPS, and this is specific to Chabot. So at the community college that you go to, they might have different services, but at Chabot specifically, they give you grants for books, so free money for books, early registration. So you get first dibs on classes, academic counseling, transfer preparation, free 4-year university visits, so free college tours, more free college tours, calculator lending programs, and free tutoring. There's CARE, there's TRIO, so you're going to find TRIO. And just because you are in a TRIO program right now doesn't mean that you are automatically in a TRIO program in community college. So they do have them. So look for them and apply for them. So they have TRIO Aspire, TRIO Excel. They have athletics, SBBC, MSK, Luna Carnal.
So those are just some services that community colleges offer, and every community college is going to be different. So I suggest you start looking at the local community college near you, or a couple different ones that you would be interested in applying to, and seeing what they have to offer.